Hello YouTube. I come out for a bit of a walk. I thought I'd show you this. This is a memorial that someone has put on a tree to their dog Tika. There's a little plaque. As you can see that, there's a little plaque up there that says Tika. I'm not sure if that's showing on the camera, but I've got the sun shining on it a bit. But they've put this little memorial on a tree here. You come out a bit, back out a bit, and then you'll be able to see it a bit better. Well, not a bit better, but I can't get over that side anymore because there's big boulders over there. You can see this. That's a pretty decent sized tree there. So presumably this is somewhere they dog like to come and play, and I'm guessing it's buried under the tree, somewhere near the tree. That's a lovely gesture on somebody's part, isn't it? I used to come here a lot for walks, but unfortunately getting here now is a little bit more of a pain for one reason or another. I won't bore you with the detail, but access has got a bit more difficult over the last few years. And you can still get here, but it's a bit of a pain. I used to like walking around here at night at one time. I used to see loads of rabbits, and just wandering around. This has been cleaned up a lot since I was here last. There tended to be a lot of rubbish and stuff dumped here. A lot of the youngsters would come out here camping and just leave all their crap behind when they went, which was a bit sad really. I'm not quite sure what that is. I think it might be something to do with the energy park, but I'm not 100% sure. That looks obviously like some sort of valve. We've got more pipes, and what I'm guessing over there is some sort of meter. Let's see if we can get round to the other one, which is going to be a tad tricky. Oh yes, we can get round to that one. Some of this seems to have been knocked down a bit. I don't know how well you can see that. Again, I can't see the screen very well, but there's a lot more valves there, which are presumably something to do with all this piping. Now years ago, this says gas pipeline on there, high pressure. Turn around the camera so you can see the other way, which unfortunately is against the sun, so that's not going to work. Years ago this used to supply power, or at least supply chemicals for one of the factories that was here. Now the factory that was here has, well, gone basically, and they've turned the place into an energy park. Sorry if this is a bit shaky, but the ground here is somewhat rough. Try and walk down a bit so you can see it. I seem to remember the last time I come here, which was, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago or a year ago, I think there was another pipe on here, and I'm sure there was another new looking pipe on there, but I may be wrong. And I believe there's one of the factories. That's not the energy park, that's one of the factories there in the background. You could use this for a Doctor Who film set actually, couldn't you? Just imagine the TARDIS stuck in the middle about here somewhere. I'm the Doctor. I hope you can hear me over the wind noise because I haven't got the microphone on. It's only now I've come out a bit more exposed that the wind is a problem. This is actually a bit boggy by here. It's not soaking wet, but it is a bit boggy. Some of this is actually covered by the tide at high tide. This bit is obviously where the grass is and stuff, but some of the lower lying areas are very definitely covered by the tide. Oops, Daisy got my finger in the shot, sorry folks. And again we'll pan back round and have a look. And my shadow's in the shot, never mind. Now this is a bit odd. I mean, the pipe here has a right angle turn in it. Yeah, it's a U-bend essentially, isn't it? Sideways U-bend. It goes around there. And you'll see the other side of it by now when I come round by here. And it is coming back round the other way, perhaps you can see that quite well there. Now I have no idea what the idea of this is. If anybody knows, please put it in the comments. My best guess is that this is something to do maybe with expansion in the pipe, but then the other pipe further over hasn't got a U-bend in it, at least not here, so maybe that's not it. That says live water on that pipe at the front. I don't know. If anybody knows, please tell me. I don't know what's going on there, but there's a big sheet of plastic, probably just dumped there I expect. And there's our pipeline. I shall pan back along it. Goes off into the distance. We're going to go as far as we can anyway. I don't think I can get all the way across because I think there's enough tide in to stop me, but we'll see. Now we've managed to get pretty much all the way across, but we've got lucky really in that the tide, I don't know what's going on with this, but the tide is pretty much full out. So this is really quite soft. You can see by the motorbike tracks how soft this is. This is hard work, but we get in there. We're getting across now to the other side. Now when the tide is partially in, obviously you can see this low-lying area here is actually underwater. This all floods basically when the tide comes in. I mean, I can't really get cut off here because you can just get up on the bank on the sides and go around. There is a path all the way around, so it's not actually dangerous for me to be here. And I know the time of the tide anyway. The tide is pretty much full out, so I've got a few hours before it's going to be a problem here anyway. But it is something that people should think about. The Neath River. There's the sun. There it is going out to sea, and out there, I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but right out there somewhere is Mumbles, and there is our pipeline, or this end of it anyway, with more valves. I've got to watch where I'm walking by now because I don't want to fall off the end. That would be very embarrassing. And yeah, that says gas pipeline. And there's water. Now I believe it used to go, there's the rest of it by there. Now I believe it used to go under the river or over the river, I'm not quite sure which, and across to there, and somewhere over there was a gas tank the stuff was offloaded off. But I've no idea if that situation, I'm not sure that this river is very accessible nowadays, to be honest with you. Here's another view of the pipeline, perhaps a better view, and here you can get a better idea. All that sandy area down there is where the tide comes in. You essentially have a kind of a basin here that fills up in pretty much up to, well, you can see the factory, you can see how far it goes. You'll be just the sort of the green bits left above. Obviously at really high tides it comes up a bit higher, but again, as I say, you can still go out, you can get around. There is a path that goes all the way around, so it's not, you know, you're not going to get, well, unless you're really dopey, you're not going to get drowned here anyway. But now it's time to get back, and I'm going to have something to eat then. I shall come back to you in a minute. And here we have a dead tent, brutally murdered and dumped in the sea by its vicious killer. I've really got to stop watching Agatha Christie, haven't I? Right, now we're going to start making our way back. Well, are we going to go back? We're going to go back under the actual pipes. There's something about this place I just like. I don't know what it is. I think it's like the kind of the post-apocalyptic feel to it. You know, it's got that sort of Mad Maxy thing, or Doctor Who feel, or I don't know, whatever. But there is just, actually this side looks a bit drier. There is something about it that's just quite fascinating. Quite fascinating, Captain. Bring back Star Trek, I say. The original Star Trek, obviously. Although it's a bit difficult now, most of the cast are dead. So that might not be so easy. Although I suppose with AI you could. Here's a thought for somebody now. Why don't the BBC use AI to recreate all the missing episodes of Doctor Who? They've got all the scripts, they've got all the floor plans, they know what all the scenery looks like, they got loads of still pictures. They could recreate all those missing episodes. They really could, quite easily. Well, relatively easily anyway. I mean, they don't have any bother sending licence fee chasers around to people's houses, do they? So perhaps they should actually make some programs for a start. Ooh, it gets off soapbox. I'm being controversial now, aren't I? That was a first. Yes. I've just noticed now I'm hammering the battery. I'm shooting in 4K. I don't usually shoot in 4K, but I'm shooting in, I think it's 4K 60 or 4K 30, I'm not quite sure. But I was doing some test recording with it the other day in different formats and things, and I've left it in 4K, I think it's 4K 60 probably, 10-bit colour in high bit rate. So that's not only hammering the battery, but it's hammering the memory as well, I expect. So, still, makes a nice change to shoot in 4K. You know, a proper video then in actual 4K. I tend to use 2.7, but then I'm in the videos and nobody wants to see my face in 4K. Not even me. Right, I shall come back to you in a bit, folks. Hello YouTube, I've got myself some sandwiches. I've stopped now, I've got back to where I can sit down and have a little rest. I've got cheese and onion sandwiches and I don't know if you can see that, a bottle, no, you can't see it, there's a bottle of Coke in there anyway. So I'm going to have a cheese and onion sandwich and a bottle of Coke. Now the onions are fresh from my local shop, which was a surprise because I didn't know that they had onions. The cheese on the other hand is slightly less than at its best, shall we say. Indeed, rather like me, it's past its prime. But then, Who wants to live forever? Okay, it's alright anyway. I'm going to stick around now for a sunset. I'll come back to you in a few minutes. Well, for my dessert, I have a Jack's Make. See that? Jack's Make butter flapjack. I've eaten about half of it, as you can see. I'm not sure I would recommend this, to be honest with you. I mean, yes, it's calories. It's food. It's really crumbly. There's like almost no binding agents in it. I've had a look at what's in it. I got a bit of a jump to see what's in it because I've managed to rip the label, but it looks like it's just about everything in it bar food. But it's not a pleasant taste really. I suppose best description is it's got a kind of a faint porridgey taste, which isn't too surprising considering what it is. But I'm getting like a very, very faint hint of maybe vanilla. I don't think there's any vanilla in it, but that's the kind of taste I'm getting, and a kind of artificial sugary flavour. I won't be buying any more of these, let's put it that way. I mean, I bought two. So I've got another one to eat another day, but I'm not going to be buying any more after that because I'm really not interested. The local birds will have a feed anyway, because I can't see me finishing this. I don't know if you can see how crumbly this is. I mean, you can just, if you can see that, I don't think there's enough like binder in it or golden syrup or whatever's supposed to be in it. I'm wearing more than I'm eating. It's food. I've just spotted these, which I think are rose hips, although I'm not absolutely sure. I'm certainly not going to eat any, but there are what look like roses on the bush as well. They're right by where I'm sitting. There's quite a lot of them here actually. I've just spotted someone as well. Someone walking over there. It's the first person I've seen since I've been down here, which is quite some time. Not quite sure how he's got in because that way is pretty much blocked off. You can get in, but it's well, the last time I went out that way it involved jumping over a very high wall, and I remember jumping off the wall and on the way down thinking, this is a bad idea, you're too old for this, you daft bugger. I had time to think that on the way down before I landed. Luckily I got away with it, but I was thinking after, if I broken a hip or something, I'd be screwed out here. I mean, I really would. So I'm not going back that way. I might be daft enough to do it once, but I ain't crazy enough to do it twice. Well, we've had our sunset. There it is. And glorious it was too. I've had a smashing walk, a nice sunset, a couple of cheese and onion sandwiches and a, well, let's just say a flapjack. Leave it at that. But I've actually had a really nice evening. I hope you have too. Thank you very much for joining me tonight on our walk. Until next time, bye for now.